Welcome back, NoDQ Galaxy, to a brand new edition of the NoDQ Review number 247, and we are back here on Sunday night, 8 p.m. Eastern. I am the moderator, Virtue, being joined by this week's elite panel of the NoDQ Review, Aaron Rift. As always, Walter Cruz is back, and Big G once again. The four-man panel. Let's get out of here in an hour or less. I don't know, though. I don't know with the NoDQ Galaxy in the chat. But what's up, everybody? Walter, I will start with you. What's going on?
I'm doing well. Nothing much. Thanks for having me. Good to be back on a Sunday. The Tuesday threw me off a little, but I'm ready to do this, and we got some good topics. So hopefully the super chats add to them, but we can get out of here quick.
It doesn't have to be quick. Like it's only 8 o'clock, but but that what was the Aaron? How long was episode 200? Like almost 4 hours.
Yeah, because we had Mr. Tito arguing with people, and it just went on and on and on.
Wow. All right.
We should do it again.
Maybe 250 we'll do something special. Big G, what's up?
I'm doing good. Pretty much traveled all day yesterday to New Jersey, went to Collision, traveled back this morning. But yeah, other than that, let's get this ball rolling, and I'll give my thoughts on Collision and the freaking New Jersey crowd later on tonight.
Okay. We're interested to hear that. Aaron, what's up?
I'm doing pretty good. Happy to have the two big ballers, Walter Cruz and Big G, with us tonight. And Virtue, it's a pleasure as always to have you moderating things as we get closer to SummerSlam. I'm also looking forward to what Big G has to say about Collision and the New Jersey crowd. New Jersey is an interesting state. I've had several trips there, and I'll just leave it at that. Virtue, let's get to this.
All right, so we're going to be talking about the match that's official with Jey Uso and Roman Reigns in our main event today. So stay tuned, and we'll talk about the Tribal Combat Championship match at SummerSlam in Detroit, which Aaron will be at. We're going to talk a little bit about Bray Wyatt in the middle, because that's where my fair weather fan – this is going to be interesting, right? Talking about fair weather fans. So stay tuned for that. But first, let's talk a little bit about AEW, and specifically, Big G, I'm going to come to you first because you were recently at Collision. And this little MJF and Adam Cole thing. And so, I like when they try to do something different other than just book matches. So, I'm going to give it a point for that. I like MJF, and I know he's trying to be like that entertaining heel that can you remember the whole dancing, singing thing he did with Chris Jericho?
Yeah.
So he's trying to show his entertainment side, right? Maybe this is his audition for WWE. I ain't feeling Adam Cole, man.
Okay.
Not at all. I don't know what the hype is with Adam Cole. When I think Adam Cole, I think 30-minute matches with 20,000 false finishes and NXT crowd pops. I don't know what it is. So I don't know if you're a big mark for him, Big G. Obviously, you are for Britt Baker. Sell me on your experience with AEW Collision, Adam Cole. And again, I'm not shitting on this MJF and Adam Cole thing, right? But it's a mix. It's a mixed bag. Like, there's parts of it I'm entertained by, parts of it I'm not. Indulge me, Big G.
I mean, I'm loving this whole MJF Adam Cole thing. Wednesday night when they did their little dance off, I kid you not, I was laughing through the whole entire segment. My wife's in the bedroom. She calls me and asks me to stop laughing. I'm laughing at her on the phone through this whole entire segment with the dance off. I was just like, oh my god, I am just what MJF did by himself was just entertaining as hell. Adam Cole, he was in NXT for a while, so he was in the WWE bubble with the sports entertainment stuff. And I know some people don't like Adam Cole, but I mean, I like Adam Cole. So, but I feel like this Saturday, MJF is going to turn on Adam Cole. That's you don't trust the devil, and that's what MJF is. He's the devil himself.
I hope so.
And, or what we could possibly see is they win the tag titles on next week, Saturday in Collision. And, and then we get MJF versus Adam Cole at All In or All Out for the title. And, we've seen that before in WWE where the two people are tag champs and they're feuding over the title. So it's nothing new, but, with MJF, we've seen this plenty of times with him trying to be like a tweener or playing a babyface with Cody Rhodes and Chris Jericho. So we're happy to see it now, but when we know it's going to happen, it's going to happen. And, they got the matching jackets, the matching shirts, the entrance theme mashup. So, they're trying to make us believe it's a believable tag team. So yeah, that's that. Last night Collision, New Jersey. The show was pretty good, I thought, but that New Jersey crowd was just ridiculous. So before the main event, Dasha, the ring announcer, she started asking who was the louder section. So you had your, section 5, section 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, whatever. So they were doing it during the commercial break. And then during the main event, okay, so CM Punk comes out, he gets his boost, he gets his cheers. Ricky Starks came out and stuff like that.
What did you do with CM Punk? Boo or cheer?
I
cheered.
Okay.
I cheered. It's CM Punk. I like CM Punk.
Okay.
So anyway, during the main event, I don't know if people who watch it on TV could hear it, but the section next to us, section 5, started chanting section 5 during the main event. And then our section 6, started chanting for a little bit. And then the ringside people started looking up at section 5 and told them pretty much, shut the F up. And then section 5 was like, no, we won't. And then we can't hear you. It was just ridiculous. Like during the main event, I was like, even during the women's match, they were doing it. I was like, give these people, I know you want to chant what you want to chant, but give the wrestlers the respect and cheer for the match.
Like the hard cam side, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So funny thing is, so when we got there, we were sitting on the camera side. And so obviously the other side wasn't full. So this lady came and offered us to be seat fillers for the other side. So
I love it here. I mean, we got to get the facts. And Big G was there.
It was, and we like the whole entire row that we were sitting in pretty much jumped ship to the other side because I guess she was the coordinator or whatever. And she was like, you know what? I'm not liking how the TV side is looking. So we need to fill this up. So here you go. And like pretty much like if somebody showed up and we were sitting in their seats, we were like, oh yeah, we're just seat fillers. And then we would just move to the next seats. But luckily, we didn't have to move at all. So it was, like I said, it was all a good chant or a good show.
Big G.
Yes.
I think that's a good excuse if you ever go to a wrestling event and you're sitting in somebody else's seat and they say, oh, you're in my seat. Just say, oh, I'm a seat filler. My bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. And no, it was not a sellout, unfortunately. Like for the most part on the side that we were sitting on was sold out, but then like on the hard cam side where you can't see everybody, it was empty for the most part. I mean, there was people sitting over there, but yeah.
You had a good time though, right?
I did. That's all that matters.
You got to pop.
It's just it's funny to experience different crowds in different states.
Yeah, and you were. I mean, there's right there. Like it's never gonna be. Like it's never gonna get any better than that moment. Like that.
I guess
was
not,
it.
No.
That's yeah. Woo! I get chills every time I see that video.
Yeah,
so, all right. Well, thank you, Big G, for your sharing your experience there for not Dynamite for. Collision. Man, there's so many. I almost said Rampage.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Tony Khan is a mark. Oh my God.
Oh yeah.
Was he stomping on his feet on the ground?
Hype?
He came. Oh my God. He came up. He came up before the show and then after the show again. Oh my.
He likes it. He loves it. He loves making the. I think when you're up on a stage and you hear the reverberation after your voice goes through the mic and you hear whatever comes back, he likes that.
Yeah.
He loves it, man. All right. Walter Cruz, thoughts here. here's the thing. I think Adam Cole can be entertaining. I just have a problem that, and it's wrestling in general today, where if you don't look the part, you fight the guys that, and MJF's not a huge dude, so I just look at Adam Cole just like Vince McMahon did, and I think like an entertaining manager that can take bumps. I think the same thing about Enzo. Now, Adam Cole's a really good wrestler, so if that's the case, I wish they would have the lightweight, cruiserweight divisions and not make everybody a main event superstar. I don't know, but that's just my thought. I'm not Adam Cole hating. Like I said, he could be fantastic in a faction, which he was in NXT. You notice I never really said anything about Adam Cole back then because he had like that group. Like they were, you know what I mean? It just maybe it masked over the things I didn't like about him. But what do you think here, Walter?
Yeah, I get what you mean. The only reason I wouldn't want them to add a lightweight division is because I don't want another damn title. There's enough titles, and I don't come making some light, heavyweight, or cruiserweight division and then add another title just to hot potato it again. And then
tag or trios tag. I'm fine with that with him, man.
Yeah, do something like that. But
he's gonna get a world title shot out of this, though. You know what I mean? Like he could be the world champion. I don't buy it.
I get what you mean. And as a consumer, you want somebody that's believable. It's kind of not believable to see him. It almost looks like any guy off the street, and you just threw him in the main event, and kind of like he looks like the regular man. So,
dude,
I get
Walter,
what you mean.
MJF is not a big dude, but especially since he's been champion, you see what he's done to his body. He puts in the work. I mean, he is jacked. So it makes you like forget that he's a shorter guy.
Yeah.
That you know what I mean? That's the effort I look at for a top guy, man.
It's like the Miz. The Miz isn't a big guy, but you can see the effort and his mic skills kind of make up for what he lacks in height. Miz isn't that tall either. He's like maybe 6 feet, maybe, but maybe 6'1". But you know, wrestlers lie about their height anyways. People build things different. But in terms of that whole tag team, it's different. I'll give it a chance. I love FTR. I don't want them to lose the title, but I kind of want to see what happens if they do lose the title. Like, where would they go with it? So it's like more of a curiosity thing. It's not that I want it to happen, but it'd be cool to see what they do with it. But I feel like they just only formed this tag to kind of sell the video game. Like, it tied into the video game. Like, I feel like it's just one big marketing scheme, and then it's gonna go off into a feud or something. But I really feel like it's just a marketing team got together. It was like, what can we do? And they were like, let's put these two together, and then it happened. Like, that's what I feel like. It's just a big marketing to sell the video game. So that's all I think about it.
Okay, well, fair enough. Now over to Aaron. Aaron, the voice of reason.
I've been entertained by the segments. I think that MJF has carried the segments. I think that he's the guy that really has made it work. But Adam Cole has held his own in it, and I think they do have some chemistry together. I think that this has done better than people were probably expecting. I think that there will likely be a turn next week. I do not see them winning the tag team titles. FTR went out there and basically said MJF and Adam Cole don't take the titles seriously. It reminds me a lot of Chris Jericho and AJ Styles, the whole Y2AJ thing. They had the t-shirts, but that union did not last very long. I do think MJF is going to turn against Adam Cole, but I'd love to see a swerve. I'd love to see Adam Cole be the one that goes heel, and maybe Roderick Strong and Cole beat the crap out of MJF. Maybe they bring back Bobby Fish. Maybe Kyle O'Reilly returns from injury.
That's that group thing outside. That would make more sense to me.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to see a heel faction go up against MJF, and MJF's kind of stuck. He'll be a loner because he burned all of his bridges. He's been a prick for so long. It would work in the storyline. MJF would be all by himself, and you would feel sympathetic towards him because he burned all those bridges, and now he has to fight these guys by himself, and maybe he'll be able to make some friendships with people. Maybe he'll be able to get some help, but it would be very Steve Austin-like, because Steve Austin was very much a loner doing his own thing. Exactly. And MJF could be in that similar role where he's just a prick, but that's the way he's wired. He does things a certain way, and whether you like it or not, he's successful. But now the guy has an uphill battle. We need to see MJF struggle. Like, for so long, he's coasting along. He's the main event. But I want to see him with his back up against the wall in a different type of storyline from what we've been seeing. I still think that they're going to have him go heel, and it's going to be face Adam Cole versus heel MJF. But I hope I'm wrong. I want to see something different.
Hey, and at least they're trying to sports entertain, because putting these two together, giving them a lot of non-wrestling segments, backstage segments in the what do they call that? The gym, wherever they were, weightlifting. That's going outside the bubble, which that's why I said that part of it I'm not gonna critique, because they're actually giving some effort.
Yeah.
There. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I'd rather see them doing the comedy than just go out there and wrestle 30-minute matches. I like having some different types of segments, and even if it doesn't always work, I definitely appreciate when they try different things and think outside the box a little bit.
I mean, this isn't a Bloodline segment, but at least, like, it's something. It's not just Tony Khan announces a match and they go out there and wrestle. Aaron, a super chat just came in.
Yes, Matt Phillips reviews on the topic of the Bloodline. He says, since the Bloodline is now a bigger draw than Roman, will it be prolonged because of the lineage? I don't want it watered down like the late WCW NWO. Well, I definitely think there's some innings left in this. Like, where do you think we are? Maybe fourth or fifth inning? Like, it does feel like there's more story to tell.
But, like, let me clarify for Matt Phillips' reviews here. If there is no Roman Reigns, there is no Bloodline angle. So it didn't make sense what you said. The Bloodline's not bigger than Roman. Roman is the Bloodline. He's the one that you hated for years. Some people liked him. Some people hated him. They did not want to see Cena 2.0. Then they got a heel turn that nobody ever thought would happen. Roman is the Bloodline. There's no Bloodline that's bigger than Reigns, right, Big G? Because how could it exist without him? The care that people have for the Usos would be non-existent without this Roman Reigns character. I mean, write an article and post it on NoDQ.com if you disagree with me and tell me why. So anyway.
It's also not the same because they're not adding a bunch of members. It was just Solo and the Sami Zayn thing. That it's not like they're adding and oversaturating the Bloodline like NWO did. So there's no fair to make the same mistake.
A fantastic mob boss.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about it coming up.
Yeah. And the thing about the NWO was that I do not think Eric Bischoff really had an idea of what the end game was going to be for the NWO. I think they were just going out there and doing their thing. And I don't think they ever thought about any type of long-term planning for where they wanted to go with the storyline. It just basically fizzled out. They did the whole Civil War thing within the NWO, and then they reunited, and then it just kind of fell apart, and that was the end of it with no real true ending to the NWO.
WCW seemed like they were just throwing things against the wall to see what stuck, basically.
Yeah, basically just to get the ratings and try to compete with WWE. Now, Building Nexus sent in a $2 super chat. He says, could MJF double turn with Cole instead of Punk? Yeah, I'm all for it, but I still want to see CM Punk turn heel. I've been saying that, and I will continue to say that. I guess right now, because he has this John Cena vibe going with half the crowd booing him and cheering him, that they're just going to keep doing this. And Big G, you said that it was about 50-50.
Yeah, it was 50-50 last night, big time. Yeah,
so they may just keep CM Punk as he is because he's basically John Cena for AEW.
But everybody's reacting to him, right, Big G?
Exactly. They might not turn him because they feel like if he goes full-blown heel, then he'll start getting cheered again. You know, kind of that thought process why they never turned John Cena and why they were afraid of turning Roman Reigns, because they thought if they turned him, people would cheer him. And people are cheering Roman Reigns right now, but he's the biggest he's ever been. And maybe if CM Punk went heel, that could take him to a whole new level in AEW. So I'm not sure what they're going to do, but they may just stick with CM Punk in this role right now where he's cheered in some cities and he's booed in others. And I think that's what they're probably going to do. And yeah, now that Starks is a heel, I don't see CM Punk turning anytime soon.
It was funny. Ricky Starks is a heel, but they were cheering for him last night like crazy too.
The
Yeah, they
wrestling
were.
fan. It's crazy. You almost have to, and this is going to be a good segue to our next topic, Big G. All right. I want to talk Bray Wyatt because we are hearing the wrestling news sites say he could be returning soon from whatever issue he had medically, physically.
Right.
I think a lot of it was creative issues, Vince McMahon back in the picture, and the Bray Wyatt vision of what he wants to do is B-list Hollywood horror scene, what he started dabbling into before he came back to wrestling. Trying to present that into the wrestling scene, it doesn't connect with everybody. Now, I have an issue. Obviously, he can still get hype because when he came back, people loved him. When they thought The Fiend, which he was destroyed, right, with the whole Goldberg thing, everything, Bray took time, got fired, came back, people popped for it. And Triple H, whoever is in charge, has to know, wow, we don't have to do much. We just have to keep him rolling. And that whole thing just, there was a clash, I think. I think Triple H wanted him back to let him be his creative side. Vince was still involved, and it just never took off. And maybe more than a physical thing, it was a mental thing. Then Bray broke down again. So we hear rumors of him coming back. Big G, you said it, I've said it. I'd rather have him leave the wrestling business, go try to finish these straight to Netflix or straight to Redbox horror movies to see if something sticks. And we could have a new legend in the horror movie scene. But my problem is you have your people that never necessarily liked him. They always criticized him, right? You know who you are. But the fans that like say they're behind him, and then because it's stale or, you know, he didn't wrestle that much, and then all of a sudden they just don't, I don't want him to come back. I hope he gets released. Like, I see fans saying, I hope a wrestler gets released on message boards and Twitters. That is absolutely asinine. I mean, we're not talking about Alberto Del Rio.
Right.
We're not talking about Ryback. What has Bray Wyatt ever done except try to be kooky in the way he entertains on a wrestling show?
Right.
And these fair weather fans has really pissed me off. And I'm actually sticking up for the people that hate him because at least they stick to that opinion. So
Right.
Big G, I'm going to start with you here. Like, what do you want to add to this? Not necessarily if you think Bray should come back, or we've talked about that.
Yeah, I mean,
But
like you
just
said,
the
we've
whole
talked about it.
aura of people wanting failure on something,
That's
having them get fired and go away.
Yeah, that's.
Don't you want him to do something successful? Like, I hope he comes back in wrestling and can be like, boom, look at me, I can still do this, to prove people wrong.
Yeah.
But what do you think here?
Yeah, I'm gonna say us fans, you know, because we're fans too. We're just, everybody's entitled to their opinion, but it's crazy to think that people want like wrestlers or superstars to lose their jobs just because they're not the best wrestler in the world. You know, they're not Bray Wyatt's not CM Punk. Well, then he can leave and do something else. He can get fired. No,
I mean, instead of Bray getting ridiculed, shouldn't people be ridiculing Triple H? They already have done ridiculed McMahon for tons of stuff the last decade. But no, it's Bray's fault.
It's not Bray's fault. It's the booking's fault. It's creative. I mean, I'm not trying to like blame the booking because we don't know what goes on backstage. We don't know what it takes to.
Dave Meltzer does.
Meltzer knows everything. Meltzer can go stick it where the sun don't shine. Anyways, yeah, Aaron, you can clip that. No,
moving on.
Man, it's like every department has their thing that they need to do, and if one thing doesn't get done, then it just all like starts crumbling down. And we've seen it with the Bray Wyatt gimmick. We've seen him get so many chances and it never really clicks, or it clicks, but something happens, you know, the whole thing with The Fiend, then him getting released and now coming back and trying to recreate his character or redefine it, I should say, and then have Uncle Howdy in, and then he gets like you said, either it's probably physical and mental with everything going on, and it's stalled again, and now everybody's like, well, he shouldn't come back. He shouldn't come back, and that's. I mean, we said that too. Like, not personally saying he shouldn't come back, but like, if he wants to not wrestle anymore, then he shouldn't have to wrestle anymore. Like, I don't know. It's all backstage drama and stuff like that. And
regarding well, Aaron, you want to read Mr. Tito's super chat?
Sure, I will read that off. Okay. First of all, Tom Huxley sent in a $2 super chat and says, was the show from Mexico on the WWE Network? No, it was just a live event. Saturday night, they did a show in Mexico. Roman Reigns actually defended the Universal Championship against Rey Mysterio. Reigns retained.
He got one in the books for the PWI 500. That's going to count.
There you go. All right, Mr. Tito's super chat. And thank you, Tom. Thank you, Mr. Tito. Tito says, Bray Wyatt has lost a step in big matches, has to rely on excessive sports entertainment and supernatural to appear relevant. F Firefly Funhouse.
So, Mick Foley started doing stunts, but because the story that was presented about Mick Foley, people loved him. Stone Cold Steve Austin was never the same after Owen Hart broke his neck. But yet the Austin era carried the company versus Vince McMahon. I'm not saying Bray Wyatt needs to be there, but like, oh my gosh, like we can let it slide with the past because guess what? The Machine was behind them. Bray, there's some conflicting stuff going on, and it's going to come across as crap because like I said, look at it worked for Foley, couldn't wrestle, right? Stone Cold punches and kicks, but we didn't care because he slammed the stunner, drank beer. What does anybody else think? And then we'll move on to you, Walter. Big G?
I mean,
anybody?
Not really. I mean, nah.
Okay, not paying attention there.
I am.
It's not about
dreaming about Jeff Jarrett.
I ain't trying to start shit with Mr. Tito, so.
It's not about him losing it. It's not about him losing a step. It's the character that is presented. You can only do so much with what they give you to work with. So it's none of that's his fault.
Like Roman, for instance, like people hated him and his matches and everything. He literally still wrestles the same style, but now he's like, people don't criticize him. Why? Because the booking of the story that he's in. Isn't that funny?
Yeah, and you also got to remember this.
So what I'm saying is Bray could be the same if they helped him like they're supposed to do. Presented him in the right way to make fans forget about anything they didn't like about him. It's the company's fault. It's absolutely 100% the company's fault for buying. And not just Bray, anybody else they botch. If they don't push LA Knight the proper way, it's going to be their fault with that too, especially when somebody's hot. Bray was hot when he came back. They didn't do anything. Like, they didn't do it right. Somebody's fault in the office.
It's creative minds bumping heads. Like, when there's too many people, like too many cooks in the kitchen, when there's too many people with the same creative mind, they bump heads. It's like he's got ideas for his own character, and instead of them letting him run off with it, it's like they're trying to put him in a box to control him. And it's like, just let him run wild. Let him do his thing.
Go ahead. I mean, anything else you want to add to this, Walter? Like, let him, if he comes back, give him that shot. If it falters and fizzles out again, maybe he'll realize, dude, I got to get out of here. You know?
Yeah, let him fail on his own. Like, let him do what he's got to do. And you got to remember, this is the same company that kind of punishes you for getting yourself over. So it's like you're damned if you do and damned if you don't. Because then he gets himself over like he did with the music. Like, I like that whole entrance and stuff. What they should do is get the Machine behind them, get some Hollywood. Well, there's a strike going on, but if there was like a Hollywood producer behind them and like with special effects and it ties into some movie and then they start pushing that on TV, just imagine the money he'll bring in. And then you tie it off and then go produce a WWE movie with it. Like, make a horror movie. You could do things with it if just somebody get behind them. It just seemed like nobody wants to get behind them. Like that whole new entrance with the door and the music, I like it. Yeah, he just got sick. This isn't his fault. None of this is his fault. Before it was all booking, so you can't blame him. Everybody just why it can't wrestle. You can only do with so much with what they give you, and your ass can't wrestle. You're just watching what's going on TV. He can wrestle better than you, so shut up before you talk about somebody not being able to wrestle.
You think Bray has an American badass in him? He can come out and do something nice.
Yeah,
Undertaker did it, and then he went back to the spooky stuff.
It was kind of cool when he came out and was himself on the mic. Like he was like,
I thought for sure we were going to get more of that.
Yeah, I thought it was going to kind of go into like a Faces of Foley thing where he was going to be like multiple, like split personalities or like schizophrenic. I thought they were going somewhere with that, but then it's like you can only do so much without the creative team behind you.
Well, Walter, we'll see. I mean, if he shows up, we're going to see what, how, and why, and we're going to talk about it again. So, Aaron, you want to add anything to this before we pretty much talk for the next 30 minutes about Roman Reigns?
I was happy with what Bray Wyatt was doing when he first came back. I think they were on the right track, but then it fell off a cliff once they started doing all the supernatural stuff again. When Uncle Howdy went from being intimidating to basically being a goofy sidekick for Bray Wyatt.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if Bray can come back and have the same momentum that he did, but I'm hopeful that he'll get one more solid shot and he can do a different type of character. I'm not sure if that means maybe doing something more similar to his original character, but whatever it is, he needs to be able to evolve the character and change it up. You just cannot rely on doing the same thing for forever. You got to be a different character and give people something different. The reason Chris Jericho had longevity is because he kept changing his act. Undertaker, same thing. He changed up his look. He changed up his moveset. He changed up his attitude. With Bray Wyatt, there were a few changes, but once things started to get stale, WWE just doubled down on it and made it even more ridiculous and over the top. I liked the more reality-based Bray Wyatt. Now, is he coming back? Like, that's the hot rumor right now. I'm not sure if it's going to be SummerSlam. He might not be back for another 6 months. Who knows? And we really don't know what he's going to be doing when he comes back. But whatever it is, I hope they pick a good time to bring him back and find a proper storyline for him and have a game plan with him and just let him go out there. And hopefully, I mean, who knows what he's physically capable of, but hopefully he can go out there. I think part of what upset so many people was that he just wasn't wrestling. In 6 months, I think he had like one match. Did he have anything other than
he had some dark? He had like short house show matches. I think at least one or two.
Yeah, I think he had basically one televised match, and that was it. And I'm hoping that if he does come back, he'll be able to do a bit more and just shut the detractors up and show them that the guy is worth being on the roster and worth investing money in. Like, I know he's got that talent, extremely talented guy. It's just a matter of utilizing him properly and him having the motivation to want to do really well in WWE. So we'll see what happens. I mean, Virtue, he might not have that motivation anymore. Nobody knows but him.
Yep. But now, for a guy to get fired, come back to the company. We don't know what he's getting paid, but we know they get downside guarantees to basically be getting paid to be with a wrestling company, not have to do anything. More props to him. I mean, I know there's no longevity with that, but the guy's getting paid and he doesn't even have to do anything right now. So good for him, at least from that perspective, supporting his family. We're ready to move on to the main event, gentlemen.
Yeah, let's do it. And by the way, happy early birthday to Raymond Williams, and shout out to Mr. Tito, who keeps ripping into Bray Wyatt. We appreciate you, Tito. Looking forward to your next column where you speak the quote truth about whatever is on your mind.
And I still hold on hope to like Bray Wyatt, right? That's one of my hopes. Come back and prove people wrong. Matt Riddle, maybe we'll see a great feud out of him and Orton if Orton comes back, and I can at least say, damn, Matt Riddle at least got something out of all that. You know what I mean? So I when I like something and it fizzles or it flatlines, I still want to see the good stuff happen, because I love to come back and say I told you so. There could be like Cody Rhodes, all the hard times happen to somebody you like, and then if they do get to that point of proving people wrong, there's no better way than be a fan of that while everybody else is eating crow.
Right.
So we'll see what happens, right? I mean, he's a wrestler, and it could make for some entertaining segments on TV. And shit, we got it with the Bloodline, we got it with Judgment Day. Maybe something will happen here. We'll see. Okay, it's official. SummerSlam. Jey Uso. This is official, right, Aaron?
Yes.
Right?
It is official.
Mhm.
Jey Uso challenging Roman Reigns for the WWE Undisputed Universal Championship, whatever it's called these days, but the cream of the crop title that Roman Reigns holds. And it's a tribal combat match. So the one thing I really wish they did on SmackDown here, and I know they don't do blood anymore, I would have loved to see them both cut their palms or rig it up and shake blood to blood. That would have popped me, and they could still do that. But this is very interesting because I feel, obviously predictions are going to be coming up soon for SummerSlam. I don't do prediction videos. You know I'm picking Roman Reigns. I think we're going to see something. Either Jimmy's going to come back and end up rejoining the Bloodline, or there'll be a new member. But like, this is about the 4th, 5th inning, people, and it's going to be exciting because they're making us think that at least Jey has a 1% chance. That's all you need, people, to think that there could be a weird thing that Jey could do it, even though we know he won't. And that's what's going to make this entertaining to watch, because we're going to be like, ooh and ah, and then we're just going to be waiting to see how they actually finish this match. Walter Cruz, SummerSlam. I can't remember many SummerSlam matches that didn't have to rely on like Brock Cena, like just huge names. It's literally Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso, but it's a bigger deal than any other match on the card because of the Bloodline. Thoughts right here. I mean, this is official. This is what we're going to see, and I can't wait. Like, I'm excited, even though my gut and heart are telling me Roman Reigns 99% will win this match.
There's still that 1% doubt, and that's
I'm throwing it out there, right? I'm throwing it out there, but thoughts on this? It's official. Like, I knew this was going to happen, but now,
yeah, that's the whole reason they had Jey pin Roman Reigns, so that now you have that 1% chance of, wait, maybe he can do this. I mean, spoiler alert, I might be on the predictions, but I am going with Roman too. But however, Jey, they're doing it. They're pushing them, and I love this. This is like the lion, the young lion challenging the head lion to be the leader of the pack, and then that's what this is, the tribal war. And they didn't explain it, but they don't have to. And I feel like they kind of left it open like that so they could kind of add to whatever they want, or do it as they go along. They can add whatever rules they want. They kind of left it open like that because we know Vince is really in charge and kind of last minute changes a lot. So they left it open to interpretation so that they can do whatever. But it's basically the title of tribal chief is on the line, and it's the Lion's Pride. Whoever's gonna lead the pack, and I can't wait. And I don't think Jey can do it, but they made you believe it because of that pinfall. He the first person to beat him in 3 years, and
that's why I'm throwing that 1% there. Now, I'm totally expecting a finish with interference. However, but I'll tell you, man, if they just let these two guys go, and somewhere during the match, Solo either got sent to the back or Jimmy came out and took Solo out. So you literally just had the two guys left before it even was close to the finish. And we had a true clean finish. Even for Roman kind of needs one. I would rather have that. Even with is Jimmy going to go back, or is a new member going to come in? As kind of cool as that would be, I'd rather have the clean finish. And then Roman just standing up like I can do it without help. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Any thoughts on that?
It'll be awesome, but you know there's going to be a ref bump. It's like I'm 99.99%.
I don't want there to be, though.
Well,
I don't want there to be either.
Hold on. So this is a tribal what is it? Tribal
combat.
Tribal combat match. They're basically saying it's no DQ, that anything goes in this match.
They even said anything goes.
Yeah, so they don't need a ref bump, but yeah, you know that Solo's going to interfere. You know Jimmy's probably going to be out there, but the question is, do they turn Solo face in this match? Is this going to be a scenario where Roman wins, and then afterwards Roman wants Solo to finish off Jey once and for all, and Jey just can't do it, and then he's conflicted, and that continues the split between Roman and Solo.
Oh, you mean Solo can't do it?
Right, Solo can't do it, and Solo's the last guy to break away from Roman, just like Cody predicted that everybody was going to leave Roman. Is that what's going to happen here, or will they save that?
There's
for
a lot of
pay-per-view?
possibilities, man. Like there's a lot of possibilities.
That's what's awesome about the Bloodline. There's so many directions they can go, and the only reason they'll do the ref bump is so that you can visually see that Jey has Roman pinned, but there's just nobody to count it. Yeah, so that's me. That's going to be the whole reason they do that, because you will see Jey on top of Roman, and you can see that he'll have like a 10 count, but there's no ref. So that's the only reason I see a ref bump.
Big G,
Yes.
You're on the floor now. Are you awake? Are you ready?
I'm good. I'm here. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's the circle of life. So Jey Uso was the first challenger of Roman Reigns back in 2020, and here we are now 3 years later at SummerSlam. I'm loving this Bloodline thing, the Bloodline Civil War. You know, I mean, we'll probably talk about it in predictions, but I mean, obviously, I'm sure, like you said, we'll see a ref bump. Probably we'll see a new member. Could it be Nia Jax returning and helping Roman Reigns? Could it be somebody we haven't seen in forever? You know, could it be somebody new that's been in the wrestling business, like down in the Indies, that's part of the Samoan family and shows up? So it'll be interesting where they go with this. And like I said, Jey Uso is the first person to pin Roman over 3 years. So like you get that 1% chance of the possibility, could Jey Uso beat Roman Reigns? But in the long run, like I said this before, at this point, Roman Reigns is honestly going to hold the title until WrestleMania 40. Let's be honest, people.
Yeah.
Nothing against Jey Uso. Jey Uso has been great this past 3 years. So is Jimmy. So is Solo. You know, the time that he's been there. And I feel like Solo, like if you watched the segment like the past couple of times with Solo and Roman by himself, Solo's just giving Roman that look like, I'm gonna get you one of these days. And I was like, you may have me under your thumb right now, but there's gonna be a time where I'm gonna Samoan spike your ass, and you're not gonna see it coming. So,
gentlemen, is there any chance that WWE sees the Bloodline? Obviously, they can draw as heels with merch,
right?
Ratings, right? Is there any possibility here that this whole thing, the Civil War, could be to turn the whole faction babyface? And if when Roman does beat Jey, that they end up still all coming together, whether it's on SmackDown, and then we're like, what the F? And then that's where, enter Bobby Lashley, maybe his group, and now you got a heel contender. I mean, I'd love to see that. I know it makes WrestleMania cloudy if Cody is supposed to be, but there's still plenty of time. I wouldn't mind seeing the Bloodline turn babyface because of the Civil War. I mean, it's just something else to throw in there. Is, oh my God, it could go this way, this. Even with Roman most likely winning, you got different things of how it could play out with him winning. That you don't see that hardly ever. And we got that. So, all right, Aaron, over to you. Anything you want to add? Any super chats? I wasn't paying attention.
Well, I do think that the end game here will be Roman Reigns eventually going babyface after he drops the title.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just a matter of who's he losing the title to. And as you said, it's like the fifth inning right now. I don't think it's going to be Jey beating him, but like Walter said, they've done a great job making you think that Jey has a chance. And there was the comment in the chat room, this would be full circle. Roman Reigns' title run His first big defense was against Jey Uso, and he retained against Jey Uso. Will Jey Uso now win the title 3 years later? But then you could also say, well, what about Bray Wyatt? If they do bring Bray Wyatt back, since he lost the title to Roman Reigns, they could do that full circle. And if Roman fights Solo Sikoa, will Solo be the guy? Will Cody Rhodes be the guy at WrestleMania 40? There's so many possibilities, but that's what's great about it, because even though it feels like it's predictable, at the same time, I feel like it's also unpredictable, because there are so many ways it can go and you just don't know. Even if you feel confident about something, there's still that small possibility that it could go a different way. And I'm very intrigued about it so far. I don't really think that they've had any real missteps with this storyline. I think that in the end, everything's made sense. Like you questioned, was Drew McIntyre losing the right call? Was Sami Zayn losing the right call? Was Cody Rhodes losing the right call? And in hindsight, it looks like all those were the right calls, because they've kept this storyline going strong for so long. And business is just on absolute fire right now. They're selling out every week, 10,000 plus people packing arenas for Raw and SmackDown. Like, business is booming. It's been working for them, and they've hit the right notes and they've made the right decisions creatively, which tells me that they've really thought about this long and hard. Like, they've had this game plan since pretty much the beginning, that Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens would feud with the Bloodline, break away, and then the Usos would feud with Roman. And Cody will probably get his rematch at some point, but you got Solo Sikoa in there, and you feel like this has all been carefully orchestrated. And thankfully for WWE's sake, they haven't dealt with any serious injuries. That's been my fear, because that these guys can get hurt at any time. Sometimes it can be a freak accident. And thankfully, nobody has gotten injured during this storyline, which has been great, because imagine if like Jey Uso or Jimmy Uso got seriously hurt, like that could screw up all their plans for this. It's
another DUI.
Well, yeah, I mean, for real.
Don't put that energy out there, man.
Thankfully, Jimmy and Jay have stayed out of trouble for this, because
I'm sure Roman kept them in their place.
This is once in a lifetime for these guys, this storyline. And 2 years ago, Jimmy got in trouble. Thankfully, there's been no other incident since then. And Roman Reigns hasn't gotten hurt. Nothing to interrupt that title run. And, he's taking it easy, doing the part-time schedule. That helps reduce the chances of injury. It's all worked out great. And I'm really excited to see what else is left with this and where it's going to go from here. Like, is it going to be Roman beating Jay? Will he beat Jimmy? Will he even beat Solo? Will Solo beat Roman? Will Roman go through everybody and then Cody has to finish the story at WrestleMania? And then after that, is Roman Reigns dealing with a new threat like Bobby Lashley or maybe even Judgment Day coming over and feuding with the Bloodline, and the Bloodline has to get back together to try and take back their top spot? So many different ways this can go. Like, the next year, it's going to be a really fun time in WWE, and hopefully it'll continue to work out for them, not just with their plans, but also injuries and all these other factors that are getting involved. I'm really looking forward to SummerSlam. Should be a great match.
And we don't have to see Alpha, Sika, Rikishi. We've talked about The Rock for the last 3 years. It makes Big G sick. Like, we don't need to see any of them. And it doesn't mean we won't if this thing drags on through WrestleMania next year with Roman still champion. But just knowing, like, this tribal combat, you feel like something could happen. Like, what does that mean? Like, are the elders going to be there watching? Like, we just don't know. And that's another thing we could throw in there. And that'll be interesting. So, anybody else want to add anything? Yes.
I wanted to ask you a question. Let's say The Rock agreed to do The Rock and Roman. Would you be a little disappointed that they didn't save the tribal combat for them? Because, for me, those two don't need the title. Like, maybe the tribal combat should have been The Rock versus over that name of head of the table, So would that disappoint you a little if that they used it on Jay and didn't do it with The Rock if he ends up fighting him?
No, because like if Roman like wins through this whole time, it's like it really doesn't matter what that stipulation of the match was. I think it's just their way of making a no DQ match sound cool.
Yeah.
And throwing some mystery in it, like, all right, is there other family members going to be watching? And like, I hope, to be honest with you, I hope they got the front row filled. Like, oh my God, Rikishi's here, Sika, The Rock's mom.
Yeah, that was
because she loves watching the wrestler. Like, she travels and watches them. That would be cool. Like, how they used to do with the Hart Foundation and Stu and Helen would sit there?
Yeah. It would make sense.
Do that.
Yeah, because that would make the match feel like even a bigger deal that they all showed up to watch it.
Yep.
With this Hollywood strike going on right now, I'm gonna give it like a 2% chance that The Rock might partake in something.
Imagine him being up in the press box there, and they're like, "Oh, Dwayne Johnson is here." That probably won't happen, though.
No.
We don't need that, though. We just need the other family members, like in the front row, like we do.
Right.
That would be
cool. That would be cool if Sika's there. And after Roman wins, they put the lay on Roman, like you are the head of the table. Like you see a visual of him walking over to his dad, and his dad puts it on him. That'd be awesome. That would be cool.
His dad did do it.
There's still part of me, dude. I'm telling you, there's part of me feeling like Bloodline could still all come back together.
Yeah.
Like the end of a civil war and then be stronger than ever, even though they don't have the tag titles. I don't know, man. All right.
They can.
That's what we got so far this week. And hey, it's under an hour. We're going to go around and do our plugs.
Wait, we got a bunch of super chats.
You want to do them now before we do our plugs?
Yeah, because it's on topic here. Building Nexus sent in a $2 super chat. Thank you for that. Says, chances Solo breaks code and interferes. Well, we all think it's probably going to happen. I don't know if that's actually the stipulation or not, that nobody can interfere, but it would be nice if they did a clean finish. However, I could see that as a possibility, but I'm saying do a clean finish here and let Roman beat him cleanly, but
yeah,
we'll see what happens with that. Sean Garner sent in a $5 super chat. Thank you, Sean. Much appreciated. Says, who beats Roman Reigns for the title if Cody doesn't do it and it's no DQ? I mean, it's got to be Cody by WrestleMania 40 if it's not Solo, right, Virtue?
That or in one of the super chats, Gunther beats him.
But Gunther has nothing to do with Roman Reigns. He's had no history with Roman Reigns. Cody has the history. And they have to finish the story, but you also have Solo. I really feel it's got to be one of those two guys at this point, right? Like, who else?
If it ain't Cody, it's got to be Solo.
Yeah. Michael sent in a $2 super chat. Says they should have a female referee the match, like Jessica Carr, maybe.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
What difference?
Who should be the referee?
Or whoever the female referee is on SmackDown. Is that Black? I can't think of it.
The Rock's daughter referee.
Oh my God, yeah.
If it's a ref bump,
have April Reign show up and be the new member of the Bloodline. Damn.
Did you have The Rock be the referee, or would he take away too much attention from the actual match and people would just be?
Yeah,
he would take too much attention away.
Yeah, he would. Because then everybody would
just
want
have a regular ref.
To fight. I kind of agree with you, Virtue. Like, I don't think they need The Rock in this storyline. I know it would make sense, but I think they're doing great with what they're doing right now, you know?
And it's making Roman look like the star of the family.
Yeah.
Right? Rock would obviously overshadow that or make it neck and neck. And then it's helping elevate the Usos, Solo, at a main event level.
And I think they're going to draw the massive crowd to Philadelphia with or without The Rock. They did for WrestleMania. And
it's got to be Cody at this point because that's when the title change is probably going to happen.
Yeah, WrestleMania 40 seems like a good time. If Solo doesn't do it, then it'll be Cody. You know, it's July. They still got a lot of time. And after Jay and maybe Jimmy, you know, Solo can step in towards the end of the year. But then, the timing will be perfect. If Roman gets through Solo, like Survivor Series or Royal Rumble, then Cody wins the Rumble a second time and gets that one more shot at Roman for WrestleMania. Timing wise, that seems to make the most sense.
And it'll be interesting to see how Cody gets there, like, because he's on Raw. So how would he get that title shot? So that's a whole nother story. So yeah,
ding, 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 ding.
Yeah, and it could be The Rock that ends up returning and doing the match with Roman Reigns, but I don't think they need it.
We're
personally.
still so far out from WrestleMania.
I just beg WWE, don't make Cody win the Rumble again. I hate repeat winners back to back.
Well, maybe he wins Elimination
way.
Chamber.
Yeah, find another way, please.
All right. Matt Phillips Reviews sent in a $5 super chat. Thank you for that. Says, the IC title used to mean that you were the second best in the company. So why haven't we gotten Gunther versus Roman Reigns? Are they playing it safe? Well, why have them do that match and one guy has to do the job? I think that's the whole point of not doing that match. What do you guys think?
You'll book yourself into a corner. That's why they're not doing it.
Plus, Gunther's on Raw, so he would technically be behind Seth Rollins, and so the brand split does it again.
Mm-hmm.
Hamp Connell sent in a $5 super chat. Thank you, Hamp. Says, I'm keeping my original viewpoint that Cody should have won at WrestleMania. The story would have been just as great without the title, which hasn't been defended since.
Yes, it has. Last night, over the weekend, Roman Reigns beat Rey Mysterio in Mexico.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, so if you were wrong, and that's going to count. That's going to count towards the PWI 500 and Roman Reigns being number one for the second consecutive year.
Oh, man. All right. Anyways, we're caught up, Virtue. Great talk here tonight, guys. Tito is still upset. Tito's always being the old man yelling at the clouds,
He's up. Yeah, he's
wrestling has passed him by, and I totally get that because at times I feel that way too when I watch shows and I'm like, man, why do people like this crap? But you know what? People like it. WWE business is great. 2 million viewers or not, like they're selling out arenas. Look at their stock. Like they're bringing in the money. They're highly profitable. And
back to that comment, like Cody was never going to win at WrestleMania because then what story? There would have been no story told. I won the Royal Rumble and I won the WrestleMania. A story is several chapters, good and bad, ups and downs. And guess what? That's what's happening with Cody. And when he wins, you're going to pop equally like you would have popped if he won last WrestleMania. So,
and Cody has not lost momentum.
That's why they're doing it.
Cody is still way over with the fans. They're doing the whoa every time he comes out there. Like,
see, the marks, the diehard marks thought they had WWE figured out. Oh, Cody's winning it. And then it didn't happen. And they get mad when what they think is going to happen doesn't. So that's why I like WWE, like kind of waiting on LA Knight. As long as it happens, right? If it doesn't happen, it's going to be like Rusev Day all over again. But all right. Let's go around and do our plugs. Maybe we'll get out of here. Walter Cruz, I will start with you.
All right, thanks for having me on again. I'm simple. No Fuss is a simple man. I'm the simple follow. I got Cal Fire Farms for my Instagram, and if you want to follow me on Twitter, it's at Walter Alex Cruz. And that's it for me.
Twitter?
And thanks for having me on again.
What's Twitter? You mean X?
Either way.
I don't know. Elon Musk is messing up some stuff, so we'll see. Yeah.
All right, Walter. Good to have you on, as always. Of course, Big G, happy to be here. The biggest Jeff Jarrett fan in the NoDQ galaxy.
Yeah, so those are my social handles, and then I have to update it. You can follow me at NoDQ_BigBallerG1988 on Threads as well. So that is it for me.
Good having you on. Aaron?
Thank you all for tuning in. Much love and appreciation to everybody. And as always, if you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. And I'm sorry if you did not like the video. David Winfrey Jr. did not like the video.
You can are you related to where Oprah? The sun don't shine. I'm kidding.
I wonder if he's related to Oprah.
He's the only viewer on Facebook.
Thanks, Big G. Your love for Jeff Jarrett cost us a viewer. Way to go. Anyways, NoDQ.com will keep you updated on the latest wrestling news and rumors. And This Guy Experience sent in a little after dark super chat. Thank you for that. Says, great review. Who's hyped for the new Futurama tomorrow? I was not aware there was one.
They remade. Yeah, I want to give it a chance. I'm looking forward to it. I like Futurama.
Eh,
Was that
I
the
mean,
same creator as The Simpsons?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Mhm.
The Simpsons got stale for me like in 2000. So why would I watch a spin-off of The Simpsons with characters from outer space when The Simpsons is already getting old and played out?
I get you. I haven't seen The Simpsons in at least 10 years. Like, at least.
I
I've
feel it
actually
was like-
seen every episode, and some of them are a struggle to get through.
When it comes to cartoons, it was like adult cartoons. It was like Simpsons, South Park,
Yeah.
Family Guy,
And Family
Like,
Guy.
Yeah,
Yeah, those are the big three.
I'm sure
Anyways,
there's others.
I did-
But
My favorite were the Simpsons Halloweens. Like, all the Halloween specials were the like the Simpsons they had. Yeah.
I agree. Anyways,
well said, Aaron.
that's it. We are caught up.
All right, be sure to follow me on X, on Twitter, at NoDQ_Virtue. I've been really nice on there lately, so I don't know what's going on with that. Go to NoDQ.com/merch and get great shirts like the one behind me, the one that I'm wearing, and other great shirts. Head on over there. And that's it. And of course, NoDQ.com, and check out Aaron Riff for the latest in professional wrestling. For Big G, for Walter Cruz, for Aaron Riff, for the whole NoDQ Galaxy and crew, Colin, Jargo, Robbie, etc. Good evening, everybody, and we will see you again next time.